Um, welcome on back, everybody, to another episode of Comic Conquest. We're here to talk about the Ahsoka finale.
Ahsoka finale. Yeah.
Whoa.
That was... You read the title of the video. Did it fail? I'm just kidding. This episode is or at least these last couple episodes, because last time we talked was when Anakin showed up, but yeah, I mean, Ahsoka, pretty banger. But
I'm hoping you watched the episodes.
yeah.
But if you didn't, here's a quick recap, right? So Sabine leaves with
Okay.
There's so much that happened. I don't know how to describe it.
Alright, I got Sabine shows up, finds Thrawn, finds some Night Mothers. Thrawn basically is like, haha, you're screwed on this planet.
This seems useless, because if you're watching this video, I assume you've seen the finale. Why would you be watching this video, for us?
Yeah. We're just gonna talk about the finale. Shit happens in the other episodes. Sabine ends up with Ezra. We found him, okay? There we go.
No, you don't have to just act like we made videos for the other episode.
So if you watched a previous episode...
You've seen Ahsoka, right? If you've seen Ahsoka, watch this video. It's like... So in the finale, we see Thrawn, after he heard about Ahsoka's master, he doesn't want to take any chances, right? He's no chances. And they left us off, August, with Shin splitting off and Baylan splitting off. And really this whole episode, August, I was like, I can't wait to see Shin and Baylan. I'm like every minute I'm like, when are they gonna pop up? Like, I'm sure it's right after this.
Just at the very end of the
I was like, but we'll talk about it at the end, I guess. There's a conflict here, August, right? There's a lot for them to deal with. They decide just to throw my two favorite ones out the window, and they go, let's just deal with this right now. Right? So they're with the turtle people still.
Yep.
And Thrawn's like, just send some TIE fighters out to poke them a little bit. Just to poke them.
I want to mess with them. Just
yeah, I don't want something to happen and me not know about it. So he shoots down the ship, and they're like, fuck. Oh, also, something I did really like, August, is Ezra decided he needs a lightsaber. He said, I was spewing bullshit.
I was joking. It was a joke. It was a prank. I got you guys. I would really like a lightsaber.
And of course, he's in the lightsaber. They conveniently brought the lightsaber building ship.
Hey,
right?
Cal Kestis has that in the back of the Mantis. He's got a little lightsaber workshop.
Yeah.
So.
So he builds a lightsaber, August, and I know it has no significant value to you, right? But me, a average Rebels enjoyer, I was like, let's go, right? Like, Ezra built Kanan's lightsaber. It's like a replica of Kanan's, which I would say there's a parallel, right? Because it's not exactly Kanan's.
Yeah.
But I was like, is this because... I was like, oh, it's like how Luke built one that looked exactly like Obi-Wan's. It was sick. It was a cool-looking lightsaber. I don't know where he got the... Does Hu Yang just have tons of kyber crystals on the ship? I don't know.
I did think about that, and I was like, we're just gonna go... Okay.
We're just gonna let it happen, right? Like,
I think Hu Yang actually runs on kyber, so...
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, for 25,000 years or whatever.
He's got to be running on some shit. And
crazy.
Lightsabers seem to have an infinite battery, so...
we know that because of the fucking Darksaber, which is another topic. He builds a Kanan-inspired lightsaber, and then there's like this moment with Hu Yang, and Sabine's like, oh, and then she realizes, oh, I gotta make this right with my master.
We also learned why Ahsoka stopped teaching her and being her master, which... I didn't realize that I wanted to know that, or that I cared.
I do care. It was a cool explanation, though.
It was. It made sense. It tied in with the Mandalorian show in a very small way, which was really nice, and which it basically.
The reason
down.
is she was scared that Sabine might have become
a Sith.
Scary.
Oh.
I was more thinking
Sithalorian.
Yeah. Wow. How many Mandalorian Sith have there been? She'd be the first one.
Let's go. If we all remember from the Mandalorian, Mandalore gets fucking bombed to shit. Apparently Sabine loses her everybody she knows and shit. And that was happening while she was being trained, and Ahsoka's like, whoa, let's chill.
Well, obviously, I was more connecting it to the thought that she's scared that she would become Vader.
Oh. Well.
Because Ahsoka's like, I don't want to become Vader. And then she was like, well, maybe I'm training Vader. But maybe I'm out of left field with that, August.
I thought it was just more like connection and training for the wrong
I
reasons.
feel like Ahsoka's character right now has this like this looming shadow over her head of Darth Vader.
And Thrawn mentions that.
Yeah, that's at the end of the episode. But anyway, they make a ground assault on the Thrawn's ship or whatever, and August Thrawn's docking his ship into the Hyperloop. And of course, everyone knew the zombie troopers ended up showing up after they all kill him. It's a cool little fight scene. Yeah. And Morgan Elsbeth also, this is an important thing. Kind of something I think they alluded to is that Mother Talzin from Clone Wars knew that these people were out here the whole time because they gave Morgan Mother Talisman's blade that we saw in Clone Wars when she fought Mace Windu. Which made me think, did they know that there was this whole other thing out here the whole time, and then Grievous and Dooku and Palpatine came and murdered them all? Maybe.
I don't know.
But she gets Mother Talisman's blade, which is a cool like name drop, I guess, for us real fans.
I'm gonna be honest. I totally forgot that was the mother's name, and so I didn't feel like looking.
Fake fan. Choreography or whatever, fine. I like the fight that they had. It was cool to see like all three of them. Sabine's wearing her Mando helmet with her Ezra lightsaber that's hers now. There's some cool moves in there actually, where like Ezra pulls troopers and Ahsoka's cutting them.
Yeah, no, there's great use of the Force in combat and having multiple Force-sensitive people. I think it was very fun what they were doing, and definitely a little bit has that touch of Dave Filoni, who knows how to use a Force wielder in combat.
This is where I start scratching my head a little bit, August. And maybe I'm invalid for this. And so
I'll let you know.
Ahsoka goes to fight Morgan, right? One-on-one. She's like, I beat you before, I'll beat you again. Let the kids go fucking get on a Thrawn ship. And she's like struggling a little bit.
That might be because of the enhancements that the mothers gave her.
That may be true. But my thought of this is right. Ahsoka beat Darth Maul, or just Maul at the time, at the age of what, 16? She had to be like 16, 14? I don't know. She's a teenager.
I forget where she ends. I think she ends at 18 or 17. 18, 17. It doesn't
She's young.
Yeah.
When she defeats Maul, right?
Yeah.
And then this is the thought I also had when she was fighting Baylan and she can't even beat Baylan. But Baylan, I will give him the credit that he has been a Jedi for a long time, and he's been a Force user for a long time.
Yeah.
And maybe he is really that strong now, and that's impressive. Good for Baylan. Love Baylan. What Morgan Elsbeth? Why she break lightsaber? Why she do the what? How she gets so? But maybe you're right. Maybe the Night Sisters' powers are.
I mean, it bugged me a little bit because Ahsoka is a badass, and we know that she can fucking hold her own against people like Maul and even Vader and like all these people who are like really difficult. And I think if in The Mandalorian, when she pops up for the first time and everyone lost their mind, she fights Morgan for the first time too. And
she whoops Morgan.
Well, yeah, she does, but at the same time, it's also not like just the easiest fight. Like Morgan Morgan clearly has some skill in combat, and I think with whatever the shadow of what that the mothers gave her, and then the blade that actually like stands a chance against a lightsaber. I think it's totally reasonable that Morgan would be able to do well, especially with Ahsoka probably not being totally focused on the fight, trying to make sure that Sabine doesn't die, trying to make sure that the zombie troopers aren't on her ass. Like, I think, and a Jedi's true strength comes from focus, and I'm not sure that focus is going to be a luxury in that battle. So
yeah, that was a great retort there, August. That was a good explanation.
I know. I have no idea where the fuck that came from.
Oh, wow. That's so not our style. That was like a good explanation of like why maybe she was on check. But you mentioned Sabine, so we'll talk about Ezra and Sabine, where they're fighting like these dead death troopers or whatever, like these zombie death troopers.
Those were crazy.
And they're getting their ass handed to them.
I mean,
but to be fair, they're like hitting them, and they just keep coming because they're dead.
We also
and actually, she breaks the mask of the one, and you literally see like a zombie.
Fucking looking like the Black Flash in in Legends of Tomorrow.
Except it looked way better than that.
It looked way better and wasn't CGI. But
you know what? Real quick, we had to have that moment.
Real quick before we get to that moment, we had another interesting lightsaber moment of which potentially could break all of lightsaber combat. Sabine flicks on and off her lightsaber, and this is a widely debated topic of, can you do this in combat? The answer is apparently yes. So, oh shit.
Yeah, so Sabine fighting, and she gets pinned up against the wall in August. I think everyone saw this coming, right? This is like a classic.
It's like
Star
the Bantha
Wars moment.
It's the Bantha moment.
Yes, from he's referring to
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back, scene 7, minute 5. I don't know. And she of course pulls a lightsaber to her. She's now a Jedi. They cue some great music is in this episode, and then she helps Ezra because Ezra's getting his ass beat too. And then Thrawn's ship is like getting away, and they're like, well, Ezra's like, darn guys, we'll get him next time. And then Sabine's like, no, Ezra, I'm gonna push you on that goddamn ship because I could use the Force now, like now.
I can do it, trust me, bro. He's like,
and also that I forgot to talk about is like they're riding the wolves over there, and Ahsoka's like, open the gates. And then she's like, her and Ezra are doing it, and they're like focusing, and she's like, Sabine! And
come on, Sabine! I
don't know. In my mind, I'm like, when I first saw that, I was like, so Sabine's just riding and like holding her hand up.
No,
like,
100%. I imagine it's like, she's like, I might be doing something, I don't know.
I had no idea, but maybe she was doing something. But I would like to think she wasn't, and that this is what she finally used the Force.
I think it's more fun to imagine it that way.
Yeah. And then she pushes Ezra onto the ship, and then you see Ahsoka, and all these things start happening, and Ezra's like, "Come on, let's go home." Like, fuck Ahsoka, like, let's go!
But earlier in the episode, Hu Yang and everyone was like, you gotta stick by your master. Your master's gonna stick by... And Ahsoka's like, I'm gonna always stick by you because Anakin stuck by me. And you know, and so...
That's Sabine, we forgot about that, too. There's some great, like, moment... That's a great moment, actually, where she remembers...
It's a fantastic moment.
Yeah.
Just remembering that, like, even when the entire Jedi Order was like, nah, fuck Ahsoka, no. she's the terrorist, as Anakin's like, that's Cap, brother. No. And then he's like, no, come back, we're good. And Ahsoka's like,
no. You know who we didn't see this whole series, August?
No.
The two most famous characters with Ahsoka.
Shut up.
The Martinez.
Actually, anyways, if you looked at minute 35, they were on the bridge with hair.
That'd be so funny. But so Ezra has. I actually really like Ezra in the show.
He was fantastic.
He's very. Whoever they got to play him, I don't remember his name. He's very reminiscent of Rebels. And even at the end when he's like, the trooper calls in like backup, and he's like, I think there's literally a scene in Rebels where he does that. He's like, 575, copy.
Sounds good, bro.
And of course, He wears the trooper armor, as Ezra always seems to do.
Loves that trooper armor.
And then there's a moment where we're like, is Sabine gonna leave? No, she didn't. Because if she left, Ahsoka would have died.
Probably.
That's what they were like implying.
Yeah.
And honestly, Sabine's made all the wrong decisions, so I really thought she would.
She was about to dip.
Yeah, she would just leave Ahsoka there, and I was like, is Ahsoka gonna die in her own show? Like,
that would have been insane. Is if they're just like actually.
That would be wild.
That would be wild.
But she didn't, and Sabine and her defeat Morgan, and Thrawn blows up the fortress, and
they jump off a building, and Hu Yang's there, and they ride off into the sunset. And
something I really admired, August, is Thrawn's ability to say "fuck you" at the end of it all.
He doesn't want to gloat. He's like, nah, I'm not spending another fucking minute in this place. See ya.
He's like, I left. He's like, Ahsoka, I never met you. You tried. But I won. I'm leaving. Bye.
Peace.
And then he also dropped the thing that was like, a Ronin Jedi like you, maybe this is the place for you, because if you're anything like Anakin, this is what really should become of you. And that was obviously a drop that he might have known what Anakin became.
Seems like he figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's basically like the end of it.
And now Sabine and Ahsoka
are stuck on Perdia.
Yeah, they're stuck on that planet. They're gonna hang out with the turtles. Wait for some whales to show up.
So Thrawn ends up pulling up to Dathomir, which is the first live action appearance of Dathomir, apparently.
Pretty huge.
And the ship with the ring is actually kind of badass. I'm not gonna lie.
That was a cool ass shot, bro. I was like, this is art right here. Yeah.
And then Ezra pulls up to Hera and is like, and Chopper comes running. He's like,
I don't think Chopper actually knew that it was Ezra. I think he just wanted to kill another stormtrooper.
That's pretty real, actually.
Bro was like, oh shit, yeah, it's been too long.
The thing I wanted to talk about was Baylan and Shin.
Oh yeah.
Who?
Shin just shows up to that little raider camp. Is like, guess what? But I think Baylan's way more interesting to talk about.
Yeah. So Baylan and God. I don't know really what their next step is with that character. I loved Ray Stevenson's performance. I think that's the general consensus on everyone's opinion on it. It's just there's something magical about what they were building with that character, and it sucks that we're never gonna really get the full complete version of that. I don't know what they do, August. For of course we'll talk about what he's kind of on. Eventually, so Ahsoka and Sabine are with the turtle people, and Ahsoka sees that goddamn owl.
I saw that owl. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me! This fucking owl.
But it connects to what Baylan's doing, because we see him standing there on a statue, and it's zooming out, and I saw it. I was like, shit.
For a second, I thought it was just a Jedi, like
a basic, like
a Jedi statue, and it zooms out. I'm like, oh, that's the father.
That's the father.
That's the son. Where's the sister?
There's no daughter.
Or the daughter. Yeah. And, or I think it looked like there was like remnants.
It's destroyed, right?
But yeah, the head's gone.
And who got stranded on the planet?
Who's he pointing at?
And who is the daughter remade?
Who's the father?
That's a great point, August. The daughter or the father is pointing at something, and there's a lot to talk about. Like, there's so many things that could happen with that character, Baylan, that
I as much as it sucks to say, I can't imagine that they would just
recast him.
No, I think they would. Depending on like how integral it is that it is him that finds it, like what Dave Filoni had, I feel like it'd just be better to recast it.
I think I think that's the best option, to be honest with you. You find someone that could.
Super unfortunate.
It's a big shoe to fill, to be honest with you, because Baylan seems important to the story because he's the one that's getting called out in the Force.
Yeah.
Which is odd, right? Like, what's calling? Because the father ain't calling Baylan's skull out there. Something that I didn't think we really needed, August, is Ahsoka and Sabine are there, and they're like, Sabine's like in the glory of feeling like she's a Jedi now. And
shadows in the starlight. I was like, that's actually kind of a cool line.
That's a cool line, and I was like, that's it, right? I was like, I knew it was coming. I was like, that's it. Don't.
They couldn't help themselves.
Like, it's not over yet. Don't do it. And of course, Anakin is watching them, it was like an exact shot of when Ahsoka's leaving the temple, and it's like over the shoulder of Anakin, and he's looking at Ahsoka. Dave Filoni loves making Clone Wars parallels.
Yes.
I didn't really need it, to be honest with you. I didn't.
I don't think it's necessarily a need, but it's also like we have Hayden Christensen. Yeah. It's not like 100% that he'll come back every single time.
Like, the ending message is like, there's a little hope for you yet, Snips. Like this is what's supposed to be happening. Ahsoka says it. I think this is where we're meant to be.
That's because you saw the fucking owl. It was like, oh,
yeah.
I guess we're okay.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, though. She was like, shit, we're stuck in another universe. Sees the owl?
It's alright.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, well, if the owl's here, then it's fine.
We're good. Dave Filoni meant for me to be here.
Series review, solid. This was so good.
It. It's good fun.
It was fun. It's a space opera. You've got your lasers in space. You've got your weird aliens at times. I think this is exactly what Star Wars is supposed to be at the end of the day.
Yeah, it captures that, as we said in one of the other reviews, it captures that original energy that I think has been gone for a while.
Yeah.
But there's something I do want to talk about, right? Is that a lot of people I've been seeing, like, the general consensus for this is like people love it or they hate it, and people that hate it are like, this isn't cinema. This is terrible. And I got something to say to you guys, right? I don't think Star Wars has ever been cinema. It's fun, it's a great time, and it's an adventure piece. I will say that the cinema part of Star Wars is that they are always on the cutting edge of technology. George Lucas literally invented a lot of these movie making techniques that people use, like editing software and special effects software. And then in recent times, the Mandalorian show invented the dome that they use. I forget the exact name of it. So I want you guys to know, no, it's not going to be Fight Club. It's a Star Wars TV show. It's fun. What do you think is happening here, August? Movie season 2. I can't imagine that they don't do a season 2 of this. There's so much stuff happening, unless they give it a trilogy, and then I would be like,
well, as we all know, because it was blasted to all of our phones, we got like the presidential alert. Dave Filoni is in charge of his own movie, so we all know that the Mandoverse, as some dumb shits call it, and I don't know what else to call it, but it makes sense. Seems to be coming to a close. We have the end of Moff Gideon, who was mentioned briefly. We have Thrawn's return, of which was hinted at.
With his dead body army.
Yeah, with his dead body. Like, what's going on with Dathomir? What's his plan? What's the zombie stuff, right? It's just really interesting, and I think it's possible to do it within a movie if we're specifically focusing just on the Ahsoka characters, but I feel like Disney's gonna want you to throw in Baby Yoda just because, that bitch sells.
Yeah, so this is the thing, right? This was really Rebels season 5. Or season 4 or 5, whatever it was just a Rebels continuation really.
Yeah.
And I loved it. My thing is, I don't know if you could do a movie where you have this whole thing in this other galaxy with the Force gods and Ahsoka and Baylan and whatever creature or something that's calling them there be in the same movie as this classic Thrawn's plan to take over the galaxy with the New Republic and Ezra and the Mandalorians and what I would assume would be some original trilogy characters have to show up in that.
I agree.
Right? Like,
I think it's gonna be extremely difficult.
Yeah, like there's no way the original trilogy characters wouldn't show up to fight Thrawn, right? Like,
yeah, I mean it's Thrawn. I think we've at this point proved that we can do a Luke Skywalker, but yeah, I think it'll certainly be interesting to see what they do. I can't imagine, because you can't get everyone to watch Ahsoka, and then also put out a movie.
Yeah.
You can't do it. It's not going to happen. Some people are going to just go into whatever Dave's movie is without watching anything and just be like, it says Star Wars on the tin. I know what Star Wars is. And be like, what the fuck is going on? Oh, shit. I didn't watch 5 seasons of 3 different shows, and I don't understand.
That's why I think you do Ahsoka season 2, right? With dealing with whatever's happening outside the galaxy with this hardcore Force stuff that not every person's going to get. And you do a movie where Thrawn comes back into the galaxy, and you're like, oh, the Empire's coming back? I know the Empire. Oh, we're getting Luke, Leia, Han, and some new characters? Love that.
I think you could do it where the movie focuses on Thrawn and everybody in the galaxy, right? And then maybe at the end, fucking Ahsoka shows up, and you're like, oh shit, Ahsoka's here, that's crazy. And then her season 2 is her explaining how she gets back, what's going on that planet, kind of fills in the gap, just kind of like how Revenge of the Sith, and between Clone War, Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, there's all this shit that happens, and then Dave Filoni eventually was like, let me write what did happen. And so, like,
technically George helped develop that too.
Okay, so. George and Dave. I
yeah.
know, I'm generalizing it very much.
I got it. Just want to throw it.
I know, you mega nerds. But I think it's possible to shut the fuck up. I think it's possible to just be like, not provide the answers to everything, especially in Star Wars, because we do that all the time. Rogue One is literally just like answering a single line of text that's in the fucking rolling.
How they get to that Star Wars?
How they get it, and then they explained it, and I think you could just 100% do that. You throw in some fucking scrolling text at the front, and it's like, Thrawn has returned. Who is Thrawn? Here's who Thrawn is. And then you cat everyone up. You just
It's heir to the Empire.
Heir to the Empire with his army of Dathomirian soldiers. It'd be crazy. But
yeah,
that's about
Thanks,
it on
guys.
my end.
Yeah, I got nothing else to really say. I think I said everything that I wanted to say.
Cool. Let us know what you thought of Ahsoka. If you think we're complete and utter idiots who don't know what we're talking about, that's fine too. We just need that interactivity. Otherwise, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. And remember,